Hello, this is Heisenberg, here to review the Batman vs. Superman Bendable Action Figures, including Wonder Woman. This is from toymaker NJ Croce. These will be out in March 2016. They come in a set of 3, selling for around $30. They will be available online from sellers such as Big Bad Toy Store, and also should be available for sale in comic book stores. So here's the packaging. As I said, they come together in this set of 3. Packaging says is labeled Bendable Action Figures. Now there's the back, and then I also have a close-up of the details on the bottom of the box. There's the close-up. So here are some promotional photos from the film, so you can see what the actors look like in their roles. And now let's start with Wonder Woman, my favorite. So she's about 5 1/2 inches tall, has no visible joints. This is one thing that's distinctive about the NJ Croce bendable figures. Notice she does have little holes like in the back of her arms and back of her legs, towards the top of the arms and tops of the legs. But yeah, no visible joints. So like the Mattel figures, for example, will have joints, say at the elbow, to give them articulation. But this style of bendable figure has no visible joints. So I think it gives it a nice smoother look. And here you can see the little holes again in the back, but normally I think you wouldn't be looking at the back. All right. Now, the actress playing Wonder Woman in the film is Gal Gadot. And I think this is a very good likeness here of Gal Gadot. This bendable figure looks very much like Gal Gadot as in the promotional photos and in the trailer for the Batman vs. Superman film. My advice, by the way, is don't watch the trailer. And looking at this costume, she does, well, also the skin. Skin tone is kind of like a Mediterranean olive skin tone, which I think matches the actress well, and is good for the character, being Greek. She does not come with a sword or a shield, as the Mattel figures do. She does have the boots. A few details, like the boots are sort of look like a good, do resemble the boots as the movie. And her costume is kind of like a clay color, has a muted color, kind of a clay color. The colors are a bit muted. Also, look at the hands. She does have these half gloves on her hands, like the character does in the movie. So I think the costume does look quite accurate to the movie. Actually, a little more accurate, at least in the color tones, than the Mattel. Notice the strap on her. There's the boots again. Notice the strap on her is sort of like, it does not move, the strap she has around her waist. So, okay, so on the left is the $10 Mattel figure. On the right is the $20 Mattel figure. So comparing them, so the bendable one is shorter, has no joints, kind of an olive, Mediterranean skin. The $10 Mattel is very pale. The $20 Mattel almost looks, in this comparison, almost looks more like a Latina, or maybe a Greek woman. So I think the one that resembles Gal Gadot the most, as she is in the movie, from what we've seen, is the bendable figure. I think the bendable figure seems to capture certainly the promotional photos the best. Okay, now notice the boots are less accurate on the $10 Mattel. Notice the bendable does not have a golden lasso, interestingly enough. And then the Mattels have like a movable strap. Their straps move, but the bendables does not move. And notice the difference in the color, that the Mattels are have brighter costumes, especially the red is much brighter on the Mattel figures. Alrighty, so let's move on to the Bendable Batman. And there he is. So he also, one thing to notice is that he has got a cloth cape. So the $10 Mattel figure does not have a cloth cape. It has like this very thin, vinyl or plastic cape. So I like this cloth cape quite a bit. I think it's much nicer having a cloth cape compared to that vinyl one. And it's nice that if you got the wind blowing, you can sort of move in the breeze. So his face is rather pale, as we'll see when it comes around again. But I think this is a very good-looking figure. Like how he looks. Now, there we go. Now, so we'll see. Again, we'll see how this movie turns out. It's directed by, where's his name again? Directed by Zack Snyder. And I like his films 300 and Watchmen. I was rather disappointed in Sucker Punch and also disappointed in Man of Steel. And so we'll see. We'll see how this one turns out. Because actually, I tend to prefer Batman when he's portrayed in the comic books than in the movies. In the I think the character portrayed in the comic books is much more interesting and exciting than the way the character's been portrayed in the movies. Like one big difference in the comic books, you can sort of like hear his thoughts. You get to get to know the character quite a bit better by sort of like through the thought bubbles of like hearing what he's thinking. So like the Frank Miller comics, for example, you get to hear quite a bit of what Batman is thinking as he's going about his day. And whereas in the movies, you tend to just sort of like there's a lot of action with little dialogue, so you don't get nearly as much of a sense of what Batman is thinking. And in the movies, he seems to often just be portrayed as sort of like some rich guy who's just using his wealth to to fight crime. That he's relying very much on very expensive gadgets. So rather than sort of like being a very smart and clever person and a very driven person. So if you haven't read the comic books, I recommend them. I recommend Frank Miller's Batman Year One, and of course Frank Miller's Batman The Dark Knight, and lots of other stuff. I mean there's lots of other stuff too there as well. But yeah, look at this. This is a good looking figure. They did a good job on his utility belt. It's kind of odd that his gloves have lit like little bits of gold on them. I didn't notice that in the movie, but maybe this is. But yeah, and the boots too have little bits of gold, a little bit of metal, I guess to give him more punch. So here's the Superman. He also has a cloth cape. Very nice. I think the face doesn't. To me, the face does not resemble the actor much. It's certainly a passable Superman face. But he doesn't, when I look at him, it doesn't remind me of the actor. So I have seen, so it's the same actor and same version of Superman as in Zack Snyder's earlier film, Man of Steel. I have seen Man of Steel. I think I was sleepy when I watched it because I barely remember it. It just did not make an impression on me. I was rather disappointed in it. So like I said, I'm hoping this movie's better. Well, I think, and again, it's like I think Wonder Woman being in it will certainly make it better. But I'm hoping even the scenes without Wonder Woman are better too. So there he is. So yeah, these are good looking figures. So let me reiterate, my advice is do not watch the trailers. So I saw one trailer basically gave an overview of the movie. Another trailer like basically sort of like showed a whole bunch of like the big climactic scene where it's like, oh, why aren't they saving this? Why are they showing this to me now? So I wasn't happy about that. But so as we look Superman over, let's talk more about Wonder Woman. I mean, once again, it's like that's why I got this set of figures, because it includes Wonder Woman. Yeah, I've been a fan since Linda Carter played Wonder Woman on TV in the late 1970s. I've been waiting since then. What is it? Over 35 years for more Wonder Woman. And so here we are finally, another actress with a live action portrayal of Wonder Woman. Getting back to the figure here, I do like how these. I did film these outside with a little bit of a breeze blowing, so I do like how the capes sort of like flutter in the wind. I am concerned about Gal Gadot being cast as Wonder Woman. I hope she does portray her as a strong, heroic female character. Because physically, I'm concerned, as some people have expressed. Physically, she seems rather thin, rather thin and not particularly athletic or imposing. But we'll see. I mean, Sarah Michelle Gellar played Buffy in Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and did an excellent job. Brought a lot to the character, even though she's sort of like a very thin and petite woman. So we'll see. I mean, But with Wonder Woman in particular, I still have very fond memories of Linda Carter portraying Wonder Woman. Again, Linda Carter, being this very tall, statuesque, curvy woman, and also bringing a lot of both warmth and strength to the character. So we'll see. I assume Gal Gadot is becoming more athletic for the role. So I'm hoping for the best. Okay, so let's look at this articulation here. So again, these bendable figures, mostly I think for my experience, you can mostly sort of like pose the arms some. There's not a lot of articulation. Even though they're bendable, they don't bend a lot. So you can bend them some, like you can bend the legs some to help them, stand up. And these do stand up on their own. Okay, but then so you can mostly kind of move the arms instead of having the arms at the side. You can sort of like raise the arms up a bit, and that's mostly it. I can't really move the head, but you can move. Like I said, you can move the arms out a bit. Head doesn't move. But so you can vary the pose some. I don't really vary the pose much on my bendable figures, but I do like that sort of like you can put like Batman and Superman in very natural poses, and the arms. I think the shoulders and the arms do look very natural, and so I'm glad about that. Now with Wonder Woman, I worry that the arms look a little less natural. They look a little more rubbery. And you can move them more, but again, it's like a lot of the movements don't look quite natural. So you could like sort of move the arms up a bit, maybe sort of like cross them in front of her, like she's using her bracelets to defend herself. And you can move the so far I'll probably mostly just keep the arms at the side. I tried to put the arms on the hips, but again, it still looked a little rubbery. And you can move the legs a little bit, but I think not enough for me to want to. I think I'll mostly just have her stand up, like just sort of like stand in a neutral pose like this. So there you have it, from NJ Croce, the Batman vs Superman bendable figures, including Wonder Woman. Yay! This is Heisenberg, hoping you enjoy your Batman vs Superman bendable action figures.